Hello viewers, this is going to be a video on how much better vintage box fans are than, or I should say vintage fans are than the ones made today. So yeah, what we're looking at here is obviously a 3rd gen liquid, I believe. This is from 1989. I'm not 100% sure, 88 or 89, I can't remember. But there's a neat story behind this one. And it just really shows how much better these fans are than, something like that, which is too far zoomed in. So, I mean, yeah. So I got this. If you watch my other video on this fan, you kind of know a little bit, but I got this from a neighbor, and he used it as a garage fan. And, yeah, so it's kind of interesting because when I got it, I can't even explain how filthy it was. And you find a lot of these fans getting tossed out, and it's not because the motor, most of the time it's not because the motor has overheated. It's because it's locked up. That was not the case with this fan. In fact, our motor ran, you could tell it really needed oil, obviously, but it ran fine. And to me, that's interesting because a lot of the ones you see tossed out, they're dirty, but nothing like this one was. And so I don't know, it just seems interesting to me because this particular motor had enough lubrication to just keep going. Until it got into my possession. I cleaned it out and gave it fresh oil, but I don't know. It really shows how much better these fans are. And I'm not, there's some really bad box fans out there, or fans in general, where they don't even put lubrication in there, like those stupid uncomfortable area fans, also known as comfort zone. They hardly put any lubrication in those stupid things, and they lock up after like one summer. However, sorry if the camera's shaky, my tripod is the broke. Anyway, what was I gonna say? The 3733 or whatever they call it now, it might be the same, I don't know. Like, what's down there? Those motors are actually, they're pretty decent. They put a good amount of lubrication in there. As compared to the comfort zone. Also, Aerospeed. I have a interesting story on the Aerospeed fan. It's kind of comical because I got this fan for free. It was absolutely probably worse than this one was. Now I took pictures of how bad this was, but they were all bad, so I don't really have a good picture that I could put into the video. But the Aerospeed, like the whole front grill was, not the whole, but most of it was just covered in dust. It was very difficult to see the blades. And what was comical is, I'm not sure how to explain this exactly, but they already have those tiny little square holes for the motor to try and prevent air from getting through. But on that particular one, the plastic had it was molded wrong. And so basically half of those squares weren't even letting air through because they were the film of the plastic there was never any holes cut or something. It was really weird. And then the places where the air could get through were chock full of dust. I just can't believe how long that thing ran to get that many hours without overheating. I really can't. And I hate those stupid vent designs. But it was comical. And it ran fine. It didn't even need oil. So I cleaned out the motor and everything. And then that was actually a fan I donated to the Salvation Army, but yeah. Anyway, I've been using this in the window, because it's cool enough. It's getting into the 60s, 70s, 60s at night, which is very comfortable. So I took the air conditioner out. It's sitting right there. So yeah, it runs on low, obviously. It's kind of beat up because it was a garage fan for my neighbor, so he didn't really take care of it. The handle's deteriorated. The blinds are in the way. Hold on. Okay. The handle's kind of deteriorated. The switch is yellow. Of course, it didn't come with the feet. There were only 2 broken slats on this, and one of them I found in the bottom of the fan. You would not believe. There was almost, I don't know. So if you see that metal lip in the bottom of the fan, it's probably about halfway full of just dust from sitting for so many years. And I think that actually protected it from rust. Now you can see there's a little bit in there, but there really isn't a whole lot for the fan. And there's nothing on the other side here. It's perfect. And I think that dust kind of protected it from moisture for most of its life, which is interesting. But it's good because a lot of times you find these and they're super rusty. Yeah, so to give you an idea of how dusty this thing actually was, there are a bunch of dead bugs on the bottom. And so if you've ever used one of these, it was so filthy that on high, it moved less air than it does when it's clean on low. And these don't move all that much air on low. That's kind of the point of the low. It's a cool, soft breeze. So if you were running this on high, it hardly moved any air, because it was worse than the low right now. And so on low and medium, it didn't do anything. So I'm surprised he didn't toss this out, because I can't imagine it did anything. It really kept him cool, so I'm really surprised. They were using it for like a party they had a few months before I traded him for this. I traded him another fan. I could not tell what speed it was running on. I'd imagine it's high because, I mean, it wasn't moving any air on any other speeds, so. It's also really quiet because of how filthy it was. And spinning kind of slowly because it needed a while. Okay. Let's start this up on low. So I've got 3 vintage box fans from Lakewood. I've got this. I've got an early brace blader. And then I've got an S223. The S223 is from 78. This is from 89, I believe. And I have not checked the code on this. This one. This is a Galaxy. I got this from my church. It's in pretty good condition, although, because they don't make the Galaxy brand anymore, but yeah. So yeah, I use this in the window at night and in the morning, because in the afternoon, this window faces west, so in the afternoon the sun beats in here, and I don't want to yellow the plastic. This is actually, the grills on here are white, so it's kind of hard to tell, but alright, medium. I run it on medium during the day if I happen to keep it in the window in the morning, because it moves substantially more air, but it's a little too noisy for sleeping. I mean, I can, but yeah. I love the way this thing looks from the outside. You got that nice, huge, full-size Macmillan motor. Looks great. Alright, and high. Not very loud. I mean, it's there, but and so, if you watch my other video on this, you know, but this motor really is a great motor. I mean, the spin down on here is really fantastic. It's the best spin down out of all of my box fans, and it's the most used motor. I have absolutely no idea how many hours this thing has, but it's gotta be like done. It's actually slower because there's a little bit of breeze in the window, so it's going against the breeze on spin down, but yeah. And I forgot to show the plug, so yeah, no comments about this cord stuff. It's perfectly safe, 110%. Okay. Pulverized. Typical, basic, non-fused plug. So that's cool. Well, yeah. That's about, well, basically, vintage box fans. We'll just keep going. And keep going. And keep going. And this is a true example of that. Again, the Lascos, they make them with adequate amount of oil in there. But they still have planned obsolescence in there, and these are just better. So, take care of them. Use them when you can. And, I mean, I have no doubt that this thing is going to last 50 more years. Because it's with me, and I take care of my stuff. So, yeah. That's about it. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.